Welcome to Asian ID. How does a single rumor, drifting like a spark in the wind, ignite an entire digital universe into a blazing wildfire of speculation and desire? Why does the phrase "they registered their marriage" echo louder than truth itself, reverberating across screens until it feels more real than reality? Is it truly about love, or have we unknowingly stepped into a carefully constructed stage where emotion is both the script and the commodity? When the names Guo Yuxin and Wang Haozhen are seen together in trending headlines, are we witnessing a romance unfolding, or a phenomenon engineered to perfection? At first glance, the frenzy appears simple, almost innocent, as if millions of hearts are merely searching for a story to believe in. But is anything in this era ever that simple? As the rumor spreads, dividing the audience between believers and skeptics, does the truth even matter anymore, or has the spectacle already replaced it? If we pause and trace the pattern beneath the noise, do we begin to see not chaos, but design, not coincidence, but inevitability? Their journey, from their first collaboration to their third, resembles not just a series of dramas, but a meticulously plotted ascent, where each step builds upon the last like a staircase leading to collective obsession. Doesn't it? Was the initial success merely luck, or was it the first domino in a chain reaction that would eventually blur the line between fiction and reality? When audiences began to project on-screen affection into off-screen imagination, did they realize they were participating in the creation of something far larger than a simple pairing? Is it possible that what we call chemistry is not only emotional resonance, but also a measurable, replicable force within the machinery of modern entertainment? As data accumulates, views, reservations, trending tags, does love itself become quantified, transformed into numbers that dictate future decisions? And when those numbers prove profitable, who would willingly break the illusion that sustains them? From platforms to producers to the actors themselves, is there not a silent agreement, an unspoken understanding that this illusion must be maintained, extended, and refined? If the rumor can generate hundreds of millions of views, does it not become more valuable than any confirmed truth could ever be? In such a system, where attention is currency, can authenticity survive without being reshaped into something more marketable? The industry thrives on emotional immediacy, on stories that hook the heart before the mind has time to question. But does this constant acceleration leave room for sincerity to add when familiar pairs return again and again, offering comfort and recognition? Are we embracing stability, or surrendering to repetition? Is the audience truly choosing these narratives, or are they being gently guided toward what feels familiar, safe, and irresistibly consumable? And what of the actors, standing at the center of this storm, benefiting from its power while also bound by its expectations? Can they ever step outside the roles imposed upon them? When a partnership becomes a brand, does individuality begin to fade into the background, overshadowed by the collective image's success? In this context, a reward, or a carefully gilded cage that limits the freedom to evolve for every opportunity gained? Is there not a path quietly closed, a role never explored, a version of self left undiscovered? Fans cheer and brands invest, as algorithms amplify and narratives repeat. Does the cycle not tighten, feeding itself with increasing intensity? What begins as collaboration transforms into dependency, and what begins as affection evolves into expectation. But where does it end when even the possibility of love becomes a strategic asset? Do we still recognize it as love, or merely as a symbol shaped to fit collective longing? The rumor, whether true or false, fulfills its purpose the moment it captures attention. But does its truth hold any power beyond that moment? If the answer no longer changes the outcome, has truth itself lost its place in the story? Perhaps the most unsettling question is not whether they are truly together, but why we so desperately need them to be. Isn't it? Do we seek confirmation of love, or are we searching for reassurance that something genuine still exists within a world increasingly defined by performance? And if even our belief in love is guided, amplified, and monetized, what does that reveal about the nature of our desires in the end? As the headlines fade and new stories take their place, will we remember the people involved, or only the feeling they momentarily gave us? Or will we, without realizing it, continue to chase the next illusion, the next perfect pair, the next story that feels just real enough to believe in? And when we finally stop and look back, will we ask ourselves a question far more unsettling than any rumor could provoke? Were we ever witnessing love, or only the reflection of our own longing projected onto a screen? Thank you for watching the video. See you again.